Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. 2024 was a great year. We tried a lot of new things on this show. New segments, more driver interviews, more analysts, in-person shows, iRacing. But perhaps my favorite new segment of 2024 were my weekly NASCAR power rankings. It's been a little while. What better way to ring in the new year than by doing an off-season power rankings video ahead of the 2025 season? A quick reminder of how my 2024 power rankings averaged out. Kyle Larson had the best average ranking throughout the season. Makes sense. Most wins, was near the top of the point standings nearly all year. You can see the rest of the top five. William Byron, Hamlin, Reddick, Blaney. 3 of those 5 made it to the championship 4. I had a Hendrick car in the number 1 spot 25 out of 38 weeks. Whew. But now let's focus forward. Looking ahead to 2025, this isn't a playoff predictions video. I'm not thinking about the playoffs or the championship or winning you're in, win in advance. I'm not looking at Bowman Gray in a few weeks or Daytona to open the season. This is as broad as it gets. Generally speaking, these are the top 10 fastest drivers, fastest cars heading into 2025. This is who I expect to earn the most overall points, contend for the most wins, lead the most laps. It's as simple as that. Let's get to it. First, a few honorable mentions. Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, each won a race last season, but their overall numbers were slightly down from 2023. There's now a third mouth to feed at RFK Racing. I expect these two to be playoff contenders once again, but let's give it a few months to see how this team finds their groove. Ty Gibbs, first half of last season was great. Second half fell off the rails. Good car, talented young racer. Hey, Chase Elliott won in year 3. Kyle Larson won in year 3. William Byron won in year 3. I hope Ty Gibbs can win a race this year to stay on track. Ross Chastain was pretty good in the playoffs last year despite not qualifying. Got that win at Kansas. I think Chastain's speed last year was better than the results would indicate. And finally, I want to mention Rookie of the Year Carson Hocevar. I think he'll make some noise this year. You thought Ross Chastain was polarizing in 2022? You ain't seen nothing yet. Something is brewing. Spire should be better. I think Hocevar will take a small step forward. He's going to run in the top 10 more frequently. How will his competition respond to his aggressive driving style? Those are some honorable mentions. Now let's get to the top 10. Number 10, Alex Bowman. I made a whole video earlier this offseason talking about how Alex Bowman has become underrated. Was great at the end of 2024, 5 top 10s in the playoffs, finished 9th in the final standings. He had the 4th best average finish during the playoffs last season if we take out the Charlotte DQ. I love the consistency, but I don't love the 67 laps led. I don't love the fact that he only has 1 season with multiple wins in the 7 years he's now been with Hendrick. The consistency at the end of last season is enough to crack my top 10, but I need to see Alex Bowman win more than he has the past 2.5 years. At number 9, give me Chase Briscoe. A few weeks ago, I may have put Alex Bowman ahead of Briscoe. I may even have put Brad Keselowski ahead of Briscoe, but the more I think about it, I really like this number 19 team heading into the new year. The 19 car finished 10th in owners' points last year with semi-retired Martin Truex Jr. behind the wheel. Now they have 30-year-old Chase Briscoe, defending Southern 500 winner, hungry to prove everyone what he's capable of. Cool, calm, consistent under pressure. Sure, this car has gone winless 2 of the last 3 seasons. Sure, there are some questions around James Small. Is he really the best guy for this job, or has he been somewhat carried by Martin Truex Jr.'s greatness the past few years? I do have my questions about this team, but there are 2 things I do not question. 1, Joe Gibbs Racing. I know it's been a few months since they won, but we know this team at the very least will be good. Great? Hard to say, but good? Absolutely. And 2, I do not question Chase Briscoe's desire. He's grinded for every opportunity in his career. He's a hustler. He always seems to win in the biggest spots to prolong his career. I heard him say in that Dinner with Racers interview he did that he's on a new diet workout plan with JGR, I believe, so he should be in great shape. He has the passion, he has the desire, he has the want, And that's what I think the 19 team was missing most of last year. At number 8, give me Chase Elliott. No, he has still not returned to peak form. From 2020 to 2022, 3 seasons, he averaged more than 3 wins a year. He averaged 21 top 10s, 1,000 laps led per season. If you look at 2024, only 1 win. 19 top 10s, only 400 laps led. But hey, if 19 top 10s and 400 laps led is a down year, you're doing something right. And Chase Elliott did have an extremely impressive 11.7 average finish last year, so the consistency is still there. I just want to see more of those top 10s turn into top 5s, and maybe a couple of those top 5s turn into wins. We know Chase Elliott is capable. This isn't a next-gen car thing. The first year of the next gen, he won 5 races. I'm confident Chase Elliott, Alan Gustafson figure it out this year. Chase Elliott at 8. Number 7, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has won 2 or more races in 6 straight seasons. He led 900 laps last year, made it to the round of 8 despite losing a dozen playoff points via penalty. Yes, he's 44 years old. Yes, he's the oldest full-time driver in the Cup Series. Sure, his most competitive years are probably behind him. And yes, there are a ton of off-track distractions pulling at his attention. That's all true. But what's also true is that Kevin Harvick put up maybe his best season ever at age 44, won 9 races. Hamlin had 3 wins last year. I know he hasn't won since April, but I don't expect him to fall off a cliff this season. He does have a new crew chief, Chris Gale. Gabe Hart's been promoted, but Gabe Hart will still oversee JGR's competition department. He will still impact how Denny Hamlin and his teammates run. I'm not going to predict this is the year for Hamlin, but I also don't expect the fall off to be as significant as some are projecting. Denny Hamlin at number 7. Buckle your seatbelts, boys and girls. At number 6, give me Joey Logano. Sure, he didn't do much in the regular season, but he still finished the year with 4 wins, 5 if we include the All-Star race. 3 of those wins came in the final 10 races. Penske is usually at their best at the end of the year, so it's difficult to predict how Joey Logano is going to fire off to start 2025, but he's a championship caliber driver in a championship caliber car. Finished 2024 as strong as anyone. I have to include Joey Logano in my top 10. I've got the defending series champ at number 6. Top 5. At number 5, give me William Byron. After winning 6 races in 2023 and winning 3 races early in 2024, I thought William Byron, Rudy Fugle were about to take over. That never really happened. Byron actually led 700 fewer laps in 2024 than he did in 2023. He only won 2 stages all year. He ended the season on a 28 race winless streak. Still, I'm putting William Byron this high because he was extremely consistent to end the 2024 season. Over the past 7 races, his average finish was 3.8. That's absurd. Managed to qualify for the championship 4 with some help perhaps from Chevrolet. We say this every year, but next year, William Byron could absolutely dominate. Byron at 5. At number 4, and I had a hard time placing this guy, I've got Tyler Reddick. We saw both what 2311 is now capable of, but also where their ceiling appears to be. They won the regular season championship, got some help from Larson missing the 600, but still, 3 wins on the year, that's great. But when it mattered most, when the pressure was on, everyone brought their best stuff during the playoffs, Reddick struggled. 18th place average finish in the playoffs, only 3 top 10s? Not great. They made it to the round of 8 thanks to that regular season championship, and made it to the championship 4 because Tyler Reddick is a badass and put together one of the greatest final laps I've ever seen at Homestead. But once they got to Phoenix, it was clear they had nothing for Team Penske or Team Hendrick. So the driver is awesome, team continues to get better year after year, but we saw their ceiling in 2024. Can they break through that ceiling at the end of 2025? I have some questions, but Reddick was so good last year, he deserves a top 5 spot. It's tough to beat Penske, Gibbs, Hendrick. Those are my top 3. At number 3, Ryan Blaney. 3 more wins last season, finished the year with a second, first, and second place finish. First and second in the championship fight back-to-back years. I can say a lot of the same things I said about Joey Logano. How will Team Penske fire off to begin 2025? To start 2024, remember Ford struggled. Took them months to win a race. We don't know exactly what the format will look like next year, but I trust Team Penske to perform when under pressure. I've got Ryan Blaney in the 3 spot. Top 2. I have Christopher Bell in the silver medal spot. I'll get the negatives out of the way first. Yes, Bell was winless the second half of 2024. That's true, but he also won 3 races to begin the year and was still a spot away from making the championship 4 for the 3rd consecutive season. If Chevrolet doesn't play those games, or if Bell doesn't ride the wall, Christopher Bell is back at Phoenix once again. The 20 has been statistically the best Joe Gibbs Racing entry for 2, almost 3 years now. Christopher Bell, I believe, just turned 30, so he too is entering his prime years as a driver. He has Adam Stevens, great crew chief, on the box. Chris Gabehart overseeing all of JGR's competition department. The 20 team could explode in 2025. Someone to keep your eye on next season, no doubt in my mind. But there's a clear number 1 pick. Entering 2025, I believe Kyle Larson is worthy of that top spot. Look, he won the most races of anyone in 2024. He earned more points than anyone in 2024. Earned more stage points, more stage wins than anyone in 2024. Most laps led. In 4 years now with Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson is averaging nearly 6 wins a season. What I love most, though, about Kyle Larson last year, yes, he would make mistakes, spin out, crash here and there, but he never went through a slump. We've talked a lot about how Joe Gibbs Racing didn't win a single race the second half of last year, or how Ford sputtered out the gates. William Byron's last win was in April. Kyle Larson's longest winless streak last year was 8 races. That's it. He won 6 races last year, spaced them out pretty evenly. He never went through a prolonged slump. Nearly everyone else on my list, you could argue, did at some point last year. That's why Kyle Larson is in the number 1 spot. I don't think there's any debating it, any arguing it. But the rest of the list we can argue. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, 2 through 10, plus my honorable mentions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I'm just kidding. If you really disagree with Larson being at number 1, give me a good reason why down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching this episode, folks. Thank you for an amazing 2024. Looking forward to an equally great, if not better, 2025. Got more content coming your way this week. Have a happy and safe New Year's, y'all. I'll talk to you again soon.